So who makes the best screwdriver? Let's get them on the dyno and find out. So first up on the dyno here, the Hilti running that 5 amp hour producing 260 watts. The Bosch with the 6 amp hour producing 285. Ryobi with the 4 amp hour edge producing 231. The Craftsman running the 6 amp hour Milwaukee brush version with the 5 amp hour producing 154. Hyper Tough with the 6 amp hour producing 198. Dewalt with the 5 amp hour here producing 279. Hercules with the 4 amp hour 212. Makita with the 4 amp hour 183. Milwaukee brushless with the 5 amp hour 297. Snap-on with the 2.5 251. Skil with the 5 amp hour 401. Now I'm going to drop the Dremel information in here. We had a little bit of an issue. I'll discuss that a little later on. But with the Bosch 6 amp hour battery, it produced 219 watts. So the best battery, Skil here 20 volt on top running that 5 amp hour, followed by the 20 volt Craftsman with the 6 amp hour, and then the Milwaukee 12 volt brushless here running the 5 amp hour high output. Rounding out the bottom, we have the Hyper Tough Makita and the brushed Milwaukee. Running a kit battery, Craftsman here is on top with that 2 amp hour, followed by the Hilti with the 5, and the Skil here 20 volt with the 2. Rounding out the bottom, again, we have the Hyper Tough Hercules and that brushed Milwaukee. When we look at dynamic torque, Bosch surprisingly is on top here running that 6 amp hour, followed by the Skil 20 volt with the 2. And then we have the Snap-on with that 2.5 amp hour. On the bottom we have the Ryobi, Dewalt, and Dremel here. Running the kit battery, Snap-on actually is on top, followed by the Skil, then the Bosch, with the brushed Milwaukee, Dewalt, and Dremel here rounding out the bottom. Now when we break this down for all available batteries per model, Hyper Tough, you get a little bit of a gain there running the 4 or the 6. Ryobi, pretty consistent across the board no matter if you're running the standard 2 or even the tabless 4 amp hour. Hercules, like normal, pretty big gain here running that 4 amp hour over the 2 amp hour. Milwaukee, brushed version, steady gain. Pretty much the same thing here can be said for the brushless version. Makita, a little bit, but not very much here when we go from the 2 to the 4. Craftsman, yeah, there's a little bit of gain as we go up. Not so much in torque, though. Dewalt here, like normal. Decent gain running the 5 amp hour. Bosch, same thing. You're better off running the 6 here, which is a similar story with the Dremel. Hilti, not really much different here between running the 2.6 or the 5. And the Skil, you get a good boost there in watts if you're running the 4 or the 5. Ryobi, now I'm going to put this in last. The collet is not quick insert. We do not have clutch positions, and it is a single speed brushed motor. Made in Vietnam. The only thing really going for this is it comes in a kit for $60 with a 2 amp hour battery, which seems appropriate because we didn't see any gain here running the edge. Next, the Milwaukee 2401. Quick insert collet, 15 clutch positions, single speed, brushed motor, made in China with an MSRP of $90. Tool only, but keep in mind you can find this pretty cheap on Amazon for around $35. Makita, no quick insert collet, 20 position clutch, 2-speed gearbox, brushed motor, made in China with a tool only MSRP of $80. Hilti, no quick insert collet here, which is a shame. 15 position clutch, 2-speed gearbox, brushless motor, made in China, but it has a pretty crazy tool-only MSRP of $170. Dewalt, quick insert collet, 15 position clutch, single speed brushless motor, 110 MSRP, and is made in Mexico. Now what's interesting is this looks similar to the installation driver, but the installation driver has a much higher power output rating, and you can see it actually has a 2-speed gearbox. Quick insert collet, we have an LED light ring, which also the Dewalt has as well. 15 position clutch, single speed. Now this does have bit holders here up on top, so one on each side. Brushless motor, made in China, with a tool only MSRP of $90. Snap-on quick insert collet there, 2 LEDs, 9 position clutch, 2-speed gearbox, brushless motor. But to me, one of the best features of this is the rocker switch. And honestly, that's the only reason I think you would consider the Snap-on line is for this switch, and also how compact the grip is here running the 14.4. But of course, it is made in China with a tool-only MSRP here of $325. But again, I will say this rocker trigger is the main selling point. Hyper Tough, now this is a installation driver and just has a magnetic quarter collet here. 19 position clutch, 2-speed gearbox with a magnet here on top, brush motor. Again, being that it is a installation driver, it has this boot that comes off, and it comes with a 90-degree, which locks in multiple positions there. Along with that, you do have a normal drill chuck. So yeah, not the greatest performance, but you really can't beat the price with this being sold as a kit with a 1.5 amp hour for $35. Really would be nice though if they would update this with a brushless motor. So the Dremel. Now you didn't see it in the dyno run at the end there because I actually failed the tool. You can see when I pull the trigger, we have flashing lights here on the battery indicator. So what exactly happened here? When you look at the 6 amp hour, you notice there's damage to this tab. So I went to install this battery in the Dremel. I'm assuming the tab got caught on one of those lines. It pushed the tab down. I bent the tab back out, but then when I reinstalled it, the tab snapped off. And what I think happened is the piece of the tab fell down in here and shorted that tab basically to the power for a split second and fried the circuit board inside the tool. Because we can take a battery here, and you can see we get the flashing lights. But we can take the same battery, put it there in the Bosch. So yeah, kind of a crazy failure with this battery pack. If you ever compare these tabs to Milwaukee, I will give Milwaukee the upper hand here. The tabs are a lot better on those batteries. But overall, it does have a quick insert collet here. 21 position clutch. Single speed though, with a brushless motor. You do have some additional features here. With a stud finder there. Which has a little tab at the base, which you use to start the calibration of the actual stud finder. 2 bit holders on either side. And in the base, you'll find a little level with a laser built in. So, made in China, of course, with an MSRP kit-wise of $100. Hercules, no quick insert collet, 18 position clutch there, 2-speed gearbox, brushed motor. Again, we've seen a big gain running the 4 amp hour, made in China, with a tool only MSRP of $35. The 2402 here in Milwaukee, again, quick insert collet, 18 position clutch, 2-speed gearbox, brushless motor. Overall did pretty decent. My main complaint is just look at how long this tool actually is. Definitely when you compare it to something like this Hilti. And it's quite pricey with a tool only MSRP of $150. So hopefully we get an update of this tool soon and maybe a little bit cheaper price there. Bosch, I will say I was kind of impressed there, especially when you're running that 6 amp hour. Really needs to have a quick insert collet though. 21 position clutch, 2-speed gearbox, brushless motor, made in Malaysia with a tool only MSRP of $125. But coming in first, I'm going to give it to the Skil here. Now, yes, this is an installation driver. I originally was not going to test this, but I figured I tested the Hyper Tough. I might as well test the Skil. It does not have a quick insert collet here. You do have a 17 position clutch, 2-speed gearbox, brushless motor. Quite the LED light there on the bottom. For $150, it comes with this complete kit here with a soft case. So again, that locking collet adapter, the 90-degree, which snaps and locks in, along with allowing you to build off of that. The offset, which also can be used with the 90, and a standard 3/8 drill chuck, which has a plastic outside. So it comes with a 2 amp hour battery, 45 watt USB-C charger, and C2C cable. So the battery can be charged through that USB-C port. So of course it is made in China, but overall it's quite impressive there for $150. All right, we're gonna do a quick little shootout here using 2.5, just your normal number 9 construction screws here. That being said, this is probably going to vary just a little bit with the data from the dyno, because now we can go ahead and use speed 2 if the option is available. So Makita with speed 2 against the Milwaukee brushed. Makita and Hypertough, both at speed 2. Hercules, speed 2. Ryobi single speed. Snap-on and speed 2. Hilti, speed 2. Dewalt is a single speed. Now the Bosch is going to be running the 3 again. I don't have another 6. Probably if we had the 6, this would have beat the Hilti. Milwaukee brushless. Craftsman, single speed. Craftsman, single speed. Skil, speed 2. Now I did some subjective ranking here, factoring in the cost, the power, the torque. If it has a 2-speed gearbox, a quick insert collet there, brushless, number of clutch positions, and then we get our final score. So coming in first, we have the Skil 20 volt, followed surprisingly here by the Bosch 12 volt brushless, and then the Milwaukee 12 volt brushless. Rounding out the bottom, we have the Makita, Milwaukee brushed version, and the Ryobi here. So there you have it. Hopefully you found this video useful. I know definitely this is going to trigger some Karens out there comparing a 20 to a 12, but in all reality, they're in about the same size class here. Quite interesting results. Again, I wasn't even going to test the Skil here, but I'm glad I did. I know it was recommended in the past, but impressive performance alongside that new battery pack there, which has bidirectional USB-C 100 watts. Well, let us know in the comments below if you have any of these and how they've worked for you. I'll leave the normal data here at the end, along with the links below. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Now, I did put this table together, of course, with the make, the model, the MSRP tool only, the MSRP kit, where it's made, the warranty, max speed in 1, max speed in 2 if available, number of clutch settings, max claim torque, length and the width, weight tool only, and then if it has a locking quick collet there.